My Biology 1 class, we always are looking at the environment, and because we happen to be in the part of the country that was originally the plain states or the prairie, we study the prairie more intensely than we do the other ecosystems. And after the students have had a chance to learn about reproduction and genetics and some basic ecology, their final project was to create a creature. And there were some very real directives that they were to follow. They had to make a climatogram, which is the climate in the prairie as the seasons change. And the upper line shows the temperature changes, and the bar graph shows the rainfall as the seasons change, as the months go by. So they were literally expected to find the environmental conditions that are in the environment of the prairie. They had to find real plants and real animals that lived there, and then they had to decide what relationship their make-believe animal has with the real prairie biome, with the organisms that are actually there. And they had to determine what kind of food their animals ate, what ate them, and then to express it in a drawing. They also, around the corner we have, in our display case, we have sculpting models of each of these creatures that they made so they could see the three-dimensional model as well as and found this particular one really interesting because this student had her creatures living underground, and they had tentacles, so they were protected from predators, but they had their tentacles that came above ground and could capture prey and bring them.
And so it sounds like some of those attributes may have been an extension of what they understood actual known animals to have.
That's correct, right. Yes, in fact, I encouraged them to do this. Like, this was a poisonous snail, so it was similar to a real snail, but it had spikes for protection and a poison slime that... And some of these students are quite adept at drawing, and some of them were not, but it wasn't the quality of the drawing so much as the fact that they put it in a particular environment and that they included all of the pieces of the environment that we had studied. So this is a cumulative project for all the ecology practices that we've been studying all year long. So before we got to this point, the students had the opportunity to go out to an actual prairie. And we have been going in each of the seasons. So far this year we've gone once in August and once in October. We'll go again in December and in April or May so that they can see how the prairie itself changes and how the real organisms that live there contribute to the environment, and then they can put their make-believe animal in that setting. I've been doing both of these projects for a long time, but with expeditionary learning, we're emphasizing high-quality work, and we got to the quality that you see here through an interaction that happened between the art students, between the art teacher and my class. And so this was a collaborative effort, so that while we were working on the scientific part in the biology class, the art teacher was helping them in their art classes get that there was a nice margin, that it was nicely placed, and it was showing all of the different elements and how to put the labels on and how to create a visually pleasing product as well as one that's scientifically accurate. Kendall and I decided that a three-dimensional representation would give people a better understanding of how their creatures might look in 3 dimensions. So these are made out of a substance called Sculpey, and they molded them and then we baked them in the oven so that they're hard now. And the creatures which are shown out on the board are represented here. The one with the tentacles down here is the one that's below the ground and has the tentacles up in the drawing.
And in this sort of collaboration between art and science at KCA, who would have initiated the idea to take it to this level of being 3 dimensions?
Actually, I did, because I was being frustrated with the quality of the work that I was getting, and I wanted professional help in raising it to another level. And Kendall was more than willing and able to help us really have the students really know what a high quality product looked like and then help them in the process of reaching it.
Right.